Good morning to all of you. Welcome back to the Namaste Experience. We are going to dive right in because I have a feeling this is going to be revelatory. Isn't that nice to wake up to revelation, to have something revealed that has been hidden, something to be opened that, well, at least seemed to be shut, but the truth and the reality is it has always been open. It has always been revealed. We just have to allow that experience to come into our consciousness so that we can see what can be seen, as opposed to focusing on what could never be seen, what could never be real. So I want to begin this morning by sharing something that I just wrote over here in my cave, should we call it? For those of you who aren't living here, yeah, okay, you guys can all hear me on Zoom, right? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. I have a little home that's basically a little cave, kind of underground. You have to walk down a step or so to get into it. It's really no bigger than a twin bed, but when I am in there, something happens. Just like when we go in within our own self, what seems like a very small contained self, there is an opening and an expansiveness that is really there that I feel, certainly. And so when I'm there, especially in the morning before session, just asking for guidance, things happen. So this is what happened this morning. I'll invite you to just take this in. Stop just for a moment and consider this. Nothing you think happened to pull you away from what is really happening ever happened. Let me read that again. Nothing you think happened to pull you away from what's really happening ever happened. I love these quick, simple, deep dives that kind of shutter the mind for a moment. The mind can't quite get it. And that's the whole point. The mind can't quite get it. And when it's confronted with something so simple, where it seems like a circle or something that the mind can't hook into, this is an opening. This is where the experience begins. Let me read a bit more. What can that mean other than that the dilemma you've perceived all around you has no foundation in the real world? And what has no foundation in the real world is what? Not real. What has no foundation in the real world is not real. If this is true, then the problem and the solution to the only dilemma that does exist are both in the same place. Where? Your mind. The problem and the solution are both in your mind. That is why a teacher of God who has broken through the illusory web of unreality teaches only one lesson. Reality will never be threatened by strange and impossible ideas. Reality can never be threatened by strange, impossible ideas, but you can choose to be threatened by them, and you have. Certainly, that's what the perceptual mind really is. It's the choice to be confused and to be threatened by unreality. But this is a choice before you, this and every moment. Being afraid of the unreal has become a habit. Being afraid of the unreal is a habit, literally, but one that can be broken by choosing resolutely to see through unreality. A resolute decision to see through what is not real, to form that habit. And that is why consistency is the key. That is why we come together here every morning to simply reignite. You know, sometimes here at Namaste Village, those of you who live here probably can relate. We have to reignite the pilot light of the of the water heaters, what feels like a lot. Sometimes the wind will blow out that pilot light, and then you wake up and there's no hot water. And then you call Azuri and say, send someone over. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're sending somebody over. We're sending somebody over to relight that pilot light so you can have hot water again. Sometimes it gets blown out. That flame within us feels like it gets blown out, but we come together as we are right now, and we're reignited. And now we have hot water again. And tomorrow morning, we may need to be reignited again. And that's okay, because we're forming a habit. We're forming a habit of seeing through the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death to immortality. That's the habit we form. Many of you have had the experience of waking up inside your dream, or when your awareness of what is real breaks through the illusions you created in your sleeping mind. How many of you have had that experience where suddenly you're in your dream and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm dreaming. You wake up in your dream. That can happen to you right now if you choose. Waking up inside your dream is the first step toward ending every dream. Waking up inside your dream, which is what you are doing right now, realizing that you are dreaming, is the first step to releasing every dream. The first step is to listen to the voice that is calling to you now, to listen. The second step is to trust the voice that is calling to you now, to trust it. And the third step is to follow the voice that leads away from the dream of separation into the wholeness of heaven. So to listen, to trust, and then to follow. Those are the three steps before us right now. It is your choice now and always. The only question I'm here to ask is, why not now? Why not do it right now? Why not listen? Why not trust? Why not follow right now? Is it that simple?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it really is that simple. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. What if someone came to me right now and said, everything you just read is a bunch of BS? Everything you just read is just airy-fairy new age nonsense, the pablum that people use to escape responsibility for what's really happening all around us. What would I say? What would I do? What would we do together? Would we defend this? Like, wait a minute, let me tell you more. Maybe I can convince you that everything we just heard is true. I don't think so. What is it we're defending if we try and do that? We're defending a concept. You see, there's nothing here that you just heard that's true. I actually thought of this. We were doing the meditation right before session. Okay, so someone might come and say, based upon all of the theological writing of the great doctors of the church and the great traditions of every religion or whatever it might be, based upon all of that, we have a foundation of reality, of what we need to do. And it's very different from this nonsense that you just shared. The tendency might be then to choose which one you believe is true. What I'm saying is none of it is true, but some of it is helpful. You see the difference? Because even what we just heard and shared here, they're symbols of symbols. They're still concepts, but they're concepts that are meant to guide you out of the cave, that dark cave of introspection, where we're always looking for the answer where the answer is not. And in that, it can be helpful. Now, a more traditional orthodox teaching could be helpful as well if it leads you out of that cave. But in and of itself, with the words that we're sharing or the concepts that we're hearing, none of it is true. And that's an important thing to realize. We're not choosing, well, this is true and this is not true. We're saying this is helpful. This is helping me break through the illusions in my mind and come to a place where only love is real. That is helpful indeed. But they're still concepts. So someone comes to me and says, that's a bunch of BS, that's airy-fairy nonsense. What is my response? What is my response to that person? I'll give it to you in 3. Very good. Yes, you guys are spot on. That's good too. But what we're going to stick with now is, I don't know. Maybe. I love you. You've heard me share this before. It started when it was during COVID, and my younger brother loves to argue with me. He loves to get into it. And the problem is he's usually better informed than me, so I have a hard time coming up with cogent arguments to back up my opinion. But then one day I just gave up and I said those 3 things to him. I don't know. Maybe. I love you. He said, I hate when you do that. I hate it. How can I keep this argument going when you do that? And that's the point. You can't. Because I'm not taking a position. I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. You see, that's the real pandemic that is still buzzing through our consciousness and through the world. It's the pandemic of being right. And the truth is, in the dream, there is no right, there is no wrong. There is only right now. There's only awakening, waking up from that dream to see what can be seen and to know what can be known, as opposed to trying to see what could never be seen. That's the dream. We are waking up, and it's the consistency of coming together right now, reigniting that pilot light within each one of us that might get blown out by our ideas, our illusions, our demands, our expectations. But then we come back together and we have hot water again. We all love when we have hot water. Lately I've been jumping into the shower when it's still cold. So that's shocking. And I don't know why I do it, but I've been doing it a lot lately. I let it get warm and hot but I jump in when it's cold. That's kind of what we did to this world. We jumped in when it was still cold, but it's getting hot. Remember my favorite line from all the Gospels when Jesus says, I have come to set the world on fire. And how I wish it was already burning. That's what I wish, and it is. So, Vicky, good morning to you. Let's see you keep this flame nice and hot.
Okay, Brother James, good morning, everybody. I don't know, maybe I love you. It's the perfect expression of defenselessness. Excuse me, because it really is hard to take that none of this is so. It's like, okay, none of it is so, but here I am. Here I am. Here we are. Here's what looks like another body in front of me. So, and then I love the simplicity of your directions. What is it? Listen, trust, and follow. If we're going to be here and none of it is so, in order to navigate around it, certainly can't be to fight it, can't be to resist it. Taoism and Hinduism and Buddhism all knew that 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. You can't fight with what isn't. You have to let it be, allow it, and listen for what is. What is always present. Love, the voice of love, is always present, because that's the foundation of what's eternal. And then trust it and follow it. So I'm going to give you a quick example of a hot spot. We're all in these hot spots where we listen, trust, and follow. Namaste is a holy hot spot. It's a hot spot of everyone igniting the light, that flame of love. So right now, I'm on my way to Quincy, Massachusetts, where my sister and my brother-in-law are installing the signs for their new holy hotspot. And their holy hotspot is a gas station. You have to know Harvey. So
You have
now
to know
you gotta
Harvey.
remember.
That's for sure.
Oh, you gotta know Harvey. So Harvey's 75 years old. He's my age. He's retired. They live an hour away from Quincy on the water in a beautiful place. And they're just rolling along, listening, trusting, and following. And it's interesting, Noreen loves Joel Goldsmith, and Harvey has always only known one thing, and it's all any of us have to know. Any one aspect of love will bring us to the center of love. What he's known is gratitude. And for years, he'll say, have a grateful day to everyone, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, have a grateful day. And he means it with all his heart. That's him with a torch in his hand, lighting that little burner inside of everyone. So about a year ago, they had a tenant at their gas station, and for whatever reason, the tenant is no longer there and wasn't going to be able to renew. So Harvey gets the gas station back in his lap. It had been his gas station for many years, but he's not interested in running a gas station. Anyway, here it is a year later. Listen, trust, follow. He knows he's supposed to put that gas station back together. And the first thing he's doing, and that's why I'm on my way to Quincy right now, the installation of the signs, and the signs on every gas tank, which is, let me say, no small thing to put a gas station together. I'm watching this step by step. It's a big deal. But on the signs, on the face of these beautiful white signs with blue, and right in the bottom of the sign of every gas tank is, have a grateful day. Isn't that great? It's a holy hotspot. We all get directions. It's like, how do we live here? If none of this is so, we have to get a handle on how to be here now. What does now mean? And now has nothing to do with a later goal. It has only to do with what does love express right now in me, as me, through me? How does it not resist what isn't? I don't know, maybe I love you. That's non-resistance. That's not taking a position on I'm right, you're wrong, this is good, this is bad. This is saying none of it is so. Not easy to say none of it is so, good, bad, or anything. But the way to be here now, because we are here now. I'm in a body, I see that. I'm in a car. It's like, we're here. How do we be here except right now by listening? And not just with this ear, with our being. We listen, we recognize the pulse of love, and we open to it without judgment. Because love doesn't speak the language of two, love speaks the language of one, united, inclusiveness, giving of itself. No judgment, no pushing away anything, just inclusion, and then follow. And I'm telling you, it's been a very great joy to watch Noreen and Harvey over this year follow that, because 75, he wasn't thinking of starting a business again. And here he is, and thrilled like a kid in a candy shop. He can't wait to get those pumps going. He's like, it's all brand new. And I think the truth is, that's what we're all called to be. We're holy hotspots, all of us, each of us. And when our light is out, it's okay. Just stop a minute. Just stop and open up. Open up right wherever you are, because the nothing that's covering the everything is still intact. All that happened is we covered up the everything with goals, with ideas, with things we thought we needed. Like, I think it's today's workbook lesson. I want the peace of God. I want the light. I want to live by the light. I want to breathe the light. I want to sing the light. I want to only follow that love and that light of love. And how do I do that? The layers of goals, the layers of things I think I need to do, the lists of things that should be have gotten done yesterday. All of those cover up that one essence, that one voice, that one song of love. So when we take off those other goals, and I only want the peace of God, I only want that love. That's it. Nothing else. I'll wait for that love to speak, and I'll listen and I'll follow. That's it. Thank you, Brother James. Thanks,
Mm.
everyone. I love you all. Thanks for being so lit up, everybody. Holy hotspots.
Have a good trip to Quincy. And please give our love to Javi. I love the way he says it, Javi. And
Happy. Yes,
Noreen,
I will.
give our love to them. And I'm so happy. You know, Harvey reminds me of that wonderful book by Dan Millman, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, where the Socrates, I think was his name, the guy who ran the gas station, dispensing wisdom. And that's Javi for sure.
That's right.
So
That's
that
it.
being said, what is left to do? Nothing. Nothing. We're just here now to share, to extend, to love, to put this into action. This isn't just something for us to ponder when we sit here together in the morning. This is for us to live and to throw ourselves into that vibration, into that infinite ocean of grace. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Calico now and have her wrap us up and send us home. Good morning, Calico.
Good morning, everybody. Great share. Yeah, a couple of things. The other day, someone asked me, how do you hear God? How do you hear guidance? And I really don't know how to answer that other than I know when I'm not hearing guidance. And it's when I can laugh at myself for something I'm thinking. And, the example of that came to me when I was sharing this was when I was giving all my, and we're sitting out in Utah under the stars, and it was the most magical of places. And I had this thought, oh, okay, I'll give you all my money. And I can't remember how much it was. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I said, but I want to keep 5,000 for me. And she started laughing and she said, no, I hear all of it. And I went, oh no, I want to keep 5,000 for me just in case. And as soon as I said that, I started thinking, wait a second, I'm going to give all my money away and I'm going to keep 5,000 just in case. That sounds like not trusting God. And so it was so clear at that point, of course, I'll give all of it. But I heard myself say something stupid, like I'll give you hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I'm going to keep 5,000 just in case. And this gentleman, and he's German and very German. He's in our Zoom room, and he doesn't trust much. And he was the one that asked the question. And at some point, he just started laughing at himself so loud. He just kept laughing. He didn't stop laughing. And one of his big things is he has a guitar, but he doesn't play well and he can't think of music. And, and he beats himself up for this all the time. And after he was done laughing for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, something, and he got, his sternness and how it kept him from moving forward. And I told him that I've never heard music like the laughter he presented me with. It was like, that was music to my heart. And I could have just bathed in that for the rest of the day. And it's kind of like that's hearing guidance on all levels. It's like at some point you're going to say something, and in your heart, it's going to say, oh, that's such bullshit. And it's like, honor that and move through that, because yes, it is indeed probably bullshit. You're still buying into some fear that you're not wanting to let go of. So I just had to share that. And it's like, yeah, trust, 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 love, love, love. That's where I'm at. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Have fun, Vicki. Happy trails.
Thank you, Calico. Thank you, Vicky. It all comes down to those three simple words: listen, trust, and follow. Follow the guidance, but we have to begin by listening deeply and then trusting what we hear. And if that is give away hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you really feel that and begins to create this joy and this expansiveness inside you, good. Don't hold back $5,000. Don't hold back anything. Give everything. In fact, Calico is the perfect example of, look at the lilies of the field. Look at the birds in the air. They neither sow nor do they reap, and yet God gives them everything that they need. Oh, ye of little faith. Don't you think the same will happen to you? Of course it will, if you give everything. Now, that may or may not mean that you're supposed to give all of your money away, but it might. I don't know. Maybe. I love you. Just keep coming back to that. Those two things: listen, trust, follow. I don't know. Maybe I love you. I mean, if that's your entire spiritual path, you're doing pretty well. That's not going to guide you too far asunder. That's going to keep you pretty close, I promise. Sound good? To that we say, amen, 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 punto, period. Thank you, everyone. Have a great full day. Thank you, Javi. Bye, everybody.
Bye.